YouTube, are you going through a trial? Do you remember the story of Daniel? Daniel was a man of integrity, and he was good at what he did. The king was thinking about hiring on, putting Daniel over everybody. But it was a certain group that didn't want to see a Jew over Gentiles. So they came up with this scheme to get Daniel thrown in jail because Daniel was going to pray to his Lord. Daniel was going to pray to Jesus. So these guys, they made up they made the king make up a law saying that you have to serve the king as Lord for a month. Daniel still prayed towards Jerusalem like they did back in the day through his window. So he got thrown in the lion's den. When he got thrown in the lion's den, the lions wasn't hungry. When the king saw this, he pushed the Lord's name in front of everyone because he saw what the Lord could do. But guess what happened to those officials who tried to get Daniel killed? Their family and everything got thrown in the lion's den. And all of a sudden these lions got hungry and ate all of them up in their families too. Are you in your lion's den? What is your trial? How are you handling your trial? Everybody listening to this video, don't let your trials overcome you or steer you away from Christ. Because during that trial, God is with you. And when you go through that trial, you come out stronger. Just like a football player who trains, just like a weightlifter who trains, who gets his body right. A football player who gets his body right for that 1 hour of football. Who gets his body in shape. He gains endurance. He gains experience. He gains knowledge. You gain power once you come out of your trial. Your bosses came to you today and he comes to you for no reason at all. A trial is something that you don't bring on to yourself. See, it's times when God lets the devil bring things on to you. That's the only power the devil has. The devil has power. But God has to allow him to do this. But he allows it for good. And always rains on the just as well as the unjust. And that's why when you do things and you bring things onto yourself, it's grace and mercy. When you have done things on your job to get you fired and now you don't have a job, God has grace and mercy there for you. There's all types of grace and mercy for people who bring things onto themselves. You see how that works out? He's a just God. Oh yes, he's just. It rains on the just and the unjust also as well. But when you're going through your trial and you have faith in Jesus Christ, oh, when you come out of there, you come out stronger, wiser, powerful. But during these trials, you must abide in the Lord because just like Joseph when he was in prison, there's no time limit on these trials. So you must have endurance. You must abide in the word so you can grow, so you can get strength, so that you know that you're not in it alone. You must read the Bible. You must study the Bible so that you know that you're not in there alone. You must abide. Soak up God. Soak up Jesus. There's also grace for the ones who has brought on these things to themselves. You got fired on your job. And we look at it. What about a trial or something that you go through the rest of your life that you don't get rid of? Oh, Paul talks about a thorn in the flesh, thorn in his side. And he talks about it's a messenger of Satan that came down to buffet him, to beat him down. Paul had a thorn in his side. What is your thorn? What is something that you're struggling with that you're just not gonna get over? Don't get discouraged if it's something that you're just struggling with until your dying day. Because God gave Paul a thorn in his flesh. And maybe you have one too. Maybe we all have one that we just can't get through. Satan has sent a messenger to buffet you too. Even though Paul has seen things that we never see, maybe it's some things that you can't get rid of neither. But oh, when you're struggling, that means that you're just struggling with it. That doesn't mean that it is you. You're not a homosexual. You're not a dope. You're not a crack addict. You're not a thief. You're not a liar. You're not retarded. You are not. You are a child of God. That is what he said you are. You are greater than what they said you are. You don't believe what they tell you you are. If you're, as long as you are struggling with what you have, we are all struggling with something. We all have a thorn in our side. Something. So if you're thinking that you're not coming to Christ just because you got some things that you think that you can't get rid of, you got to do. But as long as you're struggling with that, you're trying to overcome it, you're not doing it, you may slip, but you know that it's wrong. See, that's what separates the wicked from the faithful, from the ones that really trying to do it. I seen something the other day talking about true Christians and what a true Christian really is from the fake Christians. The ones that want to show you all this on the outside to put on a show. Sheep and wolf clothing from a true Christian. A true Christian know he has struggles, and he struggles with it every day maybe. But what he does is he comes to God, he abides in the word every day and he fights it. A fake Christian will let it overcome him and let that be who he is. And he still goes to church, not trying to overcome that which has made him separate himself from Christ. Because when you are living in your sins and you're trying to make it, you're trying to justify it or compromise with it, you're ungodly. And God does not hang around the ungodly. He does not, through what you're going through, he's not abiding in you with you when you are ungodly. When you separate yourself from Christ, when a homosexual is trying to get gay marriages legal, when you're trying to make abomination right, when you're trying to make murder right, when you're trying to make adultery right, these things do not sit right with Christ, with God, with Jesus. And those are things that make you a fake Christian. Now, everything else could be a man struggling with Christ, with the word. But if you're going through your trial right now, don't give up on Christ. Because he haven't gave up on you. He still loves you. He loved you first. His love is the great love. All right, YouTube family. That was my word. Don't give up on Christ. Through your trials, through it all, he's with you. And God said, vengeance is mine. His vengeance is pure. Your vengeance is always going to have something miscrewed with it. But when he does it, just like he did in the lion den, you know, it's over with. Once he put his foot down. Once he put his vengeance. Once he put his foot into the business. All right, YouTube family, that's the word for the day. Peace. Be blessed. Took the video.